All right. So, a quick update on my situation. Now, when I was young and I was crown prince and actually actively being crown prince, they were taking all my money, they still do. They told me, you should take an investment property. Most people just take a big house, mansion. They listed a bunch of them. I said, no, no, I don't want that. That's not really, it's too opulent. It's not really what I need for my people. It's not going to help. It's not really an investment. I mean, the property might get more valuable, but I don't want it. It's not really an investment if I'm planning on living in the house, right? And if it's crown property, well, I don't just want to sell it on the civil market to get my money. But that's what they were basically telling me. It was probably a politician who wasn't a scumbag, who knew they were going to rip me off and was trying to help me out. And he did. He was trying to help me out. He was finance minister at the time. I won't say when, so he doesn't get in any kind of heat, but he was a great guy. He actually was genuine and wanted to work and help us out and build a strong country together. He didn't care who he was working with as long as they were honest and trying to work together and build the country. He was happy to work with you. He wouldn't have cared whether you were a 20-year-old or an 80-year-old. Anyway, we did a lot of good things together in this country all through the 80s, and that's all well and good, but, well, they issued me a property. See, I did choose a property, but it was a mining claim. It was one that was a little difficult to work, and I was told that the big mining companies had passed it over, and they had. And so, but there was tons there, and we knew from satellites that there was huge. He said it's so vast, it's one of the biggest gold reserves that's ever been discovered, and there's huge amounts of silver with it. It's so massive, you'll be shocked. It's worth all your money. And I said okay. So that was what I chose as an investment, partly because I knew it wouldn't get mined. Natives aren't directly living on the land and don't really care if it gets mined, from what I understood. And it's not the kind of pristine wilderness environment that they would want to protect or I would want to protect. And so I feel comfortable with people mining that land as Crown Prince. And as a person, I feel comfortable doing the same. So knowing that they're robbing me and I'm pretty much going to have to stay here and sue them instead of just getting my money and moving to BC like I had planned and living on the land, doing a bit of mining. I wasn't even going to do anything major with it. I was just going to mine personally, do some prospecting on the land and camp and live there. And this is now not that. For one, the price of gold and silver is so high right now, I feel like this needs to come out of the ground. For two, I wanted to give the government a test. See, Carney claims he's honest. They claim they're good, that this is done in the past, and that they have no interest in robbing me. Yet he took the $1 billion. He's already robbed me. And I need to prove it out. More than just in that one instance. I need to prove that this is a pattern of behavior on their part that's gone back 50 years in court. Well, I just did. Because what I did was talk to two guys that are public and on YouTube. Dan Hurd and another gentleman he's now working with. I actually recommended they work together because they're both great guys. They're both in a similar area. They're working literally in claims that are similar. What I didn't tell them was that their claims were pretty much near my claim. And it was Crown land. So there's no real denotion there that it's my claim, but it was my claim. So I explained that to them and told them that I would like it if they took over the land because they're good people and it does need to be mined. It should come out, and it'll be Canadian companies doing it, Canadian assets, all that stuff. It won't directly be the Crown's money, but it wouldn't have been anyway. A mining company is going to come in and do that, and the gold is going to belong to them. But then they'll sell the gold, and that's how that works. It ends up in our economy. So this is a good thing for Canada. And it's in an area where it's not going to be there. These guys are good. They're not going to be strip mining. They're not going to do anything like that. They're pretty cool. They're not going to be using crazy chemicals and leaving it behind like a sludge everywhere. They're not like that. They're actually been really cool. And so one of the reasons that I want to have them do that is because the land is in BC, and we're really picky about the land there. And if you go there, you'll see why. It's gorgeous, and we don't want to destroy that, right? And so my plan was just to retire there, but because I have nobody to leave the property to, I'm getting old now. I'm 50. I know I'm not able to afford to go out there, and it looks like I'm going to have to sue them, which means I'm going to have to stay here and deal with this, and this could be drawn out for years. And I honestly don't think I'm going to live long enough. So I decided that I would basically pass it on to them and have them buy it from the Crown. But because it's my land, the government should have immediately called me and said, hey, we got an offer on your land, sir. You want to sell it? And I'd have said, sure, yeah, I arranged the sale. All good. But that didn't happen. Instead, what happened was they took the money again and didn't even call me and tell me that the land had been sold. I got no choice. I got to sue. So if there is a lawyer out there who is seeing this here in Ottawa, Canada, I'd like it if you contacted me. If there's a lawyer that has the guts to take this case on, contact me, because this is not bullshit. This is all documented stuff. It's pretty open and shut. And the simple fact is now those two guys are there on the land. So I can kind of prove it. And they're cool people, they'll be honest. And they're not going to need to be in court. This has nothing to do with them. They're honest people who are mining, and they're mining the land. It's the Crown's land. The problem is in the Crown. It's between me and the federal government, specifically the Prime Minister, because by contract, they are my money manager as of the age of 8 years old when they made me sign that damn contract. But I wasn't an idiot. I had them put things in the contract that specifically state that it is the Crown's money. The reason I did that was because that denotes me as king. Other than that, they weren't going to put anything in the contract about that at all. They bloody brought a typewriter with them because they knew it was a shit show of a contract. It was just, we're going to take all your money from now on. Like the mafia. Like the scumbags who tried to torture me to death for control. Well, at that point, I realized I was fucked anyway. I mean, I was a kid. They'd already done so much. I knew, they'd already told me right out I was never going to be king. You'll never have money or power, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, they were real clear. And they've kept it like that. Well, that's pretty evil. And I don't think the court will uphold their crooked shit. In fact, I'd very much like to expose their crooked shit and show the country that it doesn't have to be this way, man. But for it to be better than that, we have to step up. I have to step up because I'm the victim in this case. And if I just sit there and suck it up and take it like a chump, well, then it's going to continue. And so what I've done is give up my retirement property because I can't afford to go work the land anyway. If I could get out there, sure enough, I could pull something out of the ground. I could make money there. But I can't even do that right now. I'm dedicated, man. I love my country. I'm Crown Prince. I'm staying in Ottawa, which means there's no me moving out there, unfortunately, right now. I'm going to have to stay. So you can contact me direct on YouTube or Facebook Messenger or whatever. I have an email, KeithDanielRobinson@gmail.com. I never use it. Better off, go onto my Facebook. It's Keith D. Robinson. Send me a friend request, and I'll accept it because I don't have anybody on my Facebook because of hackers and stuff. I keep it this way. I don't even have friends and family. Nobody's on it. So it's not that it's meant to be secure. It doesn't need to be. But at the same time, it gives us a format where we can just talk back and forth in private. You can contact me on Messenger. But there will be a record of it, and that's good. I won't be sharing that stuff directly unless you're okay with it. But I do give updates, as you can see. So everything will be live, pretty much. I want it all to be straight out. And if you're not okay with that, don't take the case because this is serious. This is Canada's interest at heart. And we need to sort this out because what we need to do is abolish the monarchy as a structure in this country and replace it with something else. Or at the very least, abolish me as Crown Prince because that's just bullshit they're keeping on paper so they can keep my fucking money. And that's unacceptable. And I'll give you the same 5% of whatever we recover I would have given and have been giving the Prime Minister to manage my money, which is huge for a lawyer. I mean, this is a lot of money. Each Prime Minister that has taken money, they've taken roughly $1 billion a term. Do the math. And we're going to have to go after each of them to get that money back because not one of them did their job as a money manager. And that's absolutely beyond doubt. The proof is here. I'm poor. And they got all my fucking money. And they signed the contract. Period. That's it. Should be open and shut. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't gotten a call from the court saying we've issued compensation or something. But the court really doesn't know what to do here. And they've already contacted me. Because 2 prime ministers in a row from me talking about this have tried to charge me with slander in court and failed because I'm right. And what they did was prove themselves out as an utter mafia. They're a criminal organization 100%, and we can prove it in court. And we need to. We need to disassemble the Liberal Party because it is the most crooked shit show we've ever had. And we need to replace it with a clean party. It can be liberal if it wants, but they can't be the mafia running this country. And that's pretty much what it's like. It's like they're just criminals, and we need to deal with this. So part of the problem is they're just leeching money. This money was supposed to be used for guaranteed income. And that was the other thing I had them put into the contract. That even if I wasn't king, at 18, they would release my money to me or do guaranteed income with it. And they haven't done either one. See, I built up the money for guaranteed income, but I knew they were going to jerk me and they weren't going to do guaranteed income for the people. So in the contract, it's specifically stated that that's what they're supposed to do with the money. Only they didn't do it. Not welfare, guaranteed income. And that has very specific criteria to it. And I earned the money. It's there. That's what it was for. So I'm not actually going after them because they didn't use the money for that. Technically, they're the leader of the country, not me. It is their right. I earned the money for the country. They are the head of that. I accept that. But they signed a contract with me while I was crown prince as my money managers. And each successive one has robbed me blind and made sure that I'll die on welfare, picking through the garbage. Well, I don't accept that, man. And if Canada accepts that, the world really should turn its back on this country. And they will, because you're not a good country. And you show it. You can't rip and rob and rape the people and act like you're good people. We're paying 50% tax, man. Things are retardedly expensive because you allow rich people to just price gouge us. Price gouging used to be illegal, man. There's so many things going on in this country that I would want to change if I were king. And I can't do all that. But we can get rid of this damn Liberal Party. They are the problem. They are ripping us off and doing criminal shit one after another. And we need to make a stand here. Now, I have the opportunity. As long as they haven't paid me, I'm king on paper. And I have authority, and they don't. You need to contact me, because I need a lawyer to help me draw up the paperwork against these individuals. And that's for the greater good. I mean, that's just how it is. You could volunteer to do it, and I'd love you for it. The country would love you for it. But I don't want you to volunteer for that. You're a lawyer, and it's a lot of money. And it's going to be a long, drawn-out process, and you deserve to get what's right. But I won't offer you $1 million, because 5% of $1 billion is a hell of a lot more than that. And they owe me a lot more than that. I don't want the 2.3 trillion principal. We're not touching that. I intend them to use that for guaranteed income. In fact, I intend to try and push them to do so in court because they signed a contract to goddamn well do it. What I am going to do is sue each individual prime minister as a money manager, not as a prime minister. It has nothing to do with them being leader of the country. It has to do with the fact that they signed a money manager contract with the crown and then failed to uphold that contract, period. And on those grounds, we're going to freeze their assets, and it's all going to come to me because that's money they stole from me. And all of it is proceeds of crime. Everything they own is proceeds of crime. I want to put these people in the same position they put me in and see how they like it. Not so much. But I do want justice. I'm not out for vengeance. What I do want is to make this right and to make this better, because these people are just robbing this country, and that's not right. That money should be going towards guaranteed income. They shouldn't be allowed to touch a penny of it. They're not managing my money. They haven't been since 18. Up until that time, there is no prime minister that should be charged for doing the crown's work by order of the crown. Okay? They did their job. But when I was 18, I got told to go screw myself. Hey, fuck you, there's no money for you. We're not giving you anything. Okay, well, from that moment forward, criminal prime minister for anyone that took the money. There are a few that didn't. We need to identify them. It's pretty easy to do. They didn't leave a billionaire. We already know which ones they are. So, a little bit of research on your part before you contact me, and you can verify all this stuff. The court's already decided all this stuff, already knows all this stuff. It's been reviewed. It's time we take action.